Hey guys, I just wanted to do another little micro lesson here with you from my Patreon channel. This one's actually going to be open to everybody, just to give you an idea of the sort of stuff that, that we go over. This is about one of my favorite chord shapes. It is that guy. Love this chord. So I've got my ring finger on F sharp on the A string, got my index on A on the D string, and I've got my middle finger on D sharp on the G string. So this is a really cool chordal shape because it's really versatile. I like to use it primarily for two different things, but it can do more than that. And so I love using things that are multi-use, you know, that kind of pull double duty or triple duty. So this is a great chord shape because I use it for diminished things. I also use it really heavily for the sound of a dominant 7 chord. So here are those two uses. As a diminished chord, the bottom note here can be a root note. And the great thing with diminished chords is that they're fully symmetrical. So every note is theoretically, technically, a minor third away from every other note in the chord. You can, of course, have other sounds and other colors in a fully diminished chord, but if you build a diminished chord, that's the general rule. So because of that, any of these notes can function as the root. Or if the root, I should rephrase that, if the root were any of those notes, this chord voicing would still work. So if this low note is the root, then I've got a minor third above that. And what I'm doing is basically skipping the next minor third and going right to the one after that. It's a very cool sound. I love that sound. So that works whether F sharp is the root, whether A is the root, whether D sharp is the root. So that's really cool. But another way I use this a lot is, what if B is the root and I'm just not playing it, right? What if we hear that? Then we've got a really cool dominant chord, really cool dominant 7 chord usage where we're implying the root. The root's not actually there. So then this bottom chord, or sorry, this bottom note becomes the 5. It becomes the 5th of the chord. We get the flat 7, the dominant 7 there with the index finger, and the major 3 is on top. So now we have this sort of sound. And I use this a lot. I just used this in a release last month in the song Juggernaut. There's a whole section that has a dominant feel. Normally I play that on 6 strings, so it's a little bit of a reach to get up there that quickly. But a great voicing for this chord, or a great usage for this voicing, I should say. It can do a number of other things. If you're outlining a Dorian mode, again, you can use it for that. So you've got the 1, the flat 3, and a natural 6 in any key. I realize I'm looking at myself on the monitor and realizing my head is going like this, and it's because that's what Dorian does to me. When I hear that natural 6, it just makes my head cock. Which as a little brief aside, my students will know this, but that's actually one of the things to key in on, to hone in on the most when you're playing music, is the emotional reaction, the emotional content, and how it makes you feel, and how you observe that it makes other people feel and react, because really that's at the heart of what you're doing when you're playing music and you're manipulating tones and textures to try to evoke a reaction, because in the end it's all about you know, kind of a musical story, an emotional story that you're writing, and we use the language of theory to help explain that to other musicians, but that doesn't mean anything to the listener. So it's always important to distill everything or connect everything that you're thinking about or doing to an emotional quotient of some kind. All right, so anyway, I've probably talked enough. So this is a really useful chord. I use it all the time. Great for diminished stuff, great for dominant stuff. Check into my Patreon channel. It is patreon.com/ I'm not sure, patreon.com/ Sean on Bass, SeanOnBass. All right, hope to see you around. Thanks for watching.